Well, you wouldn't get a better finish to one of the best careers of all time in Australian Rugby League.
This is really special.
Out here, you can feel the dream time all around you. Very few white people have ever been through this part of the country. You can go for weeks and weeks without bumping into anyone. It's about as far away from civilization as you can get. Talking of civilization, some geo-mates of mine are crop doctors, I call them, but they're dropping in some supplies for a project we're working on.
G'day, lads. My captain. Ready for a cool one?
This is not bad. I remember way back in the early army days, we used to have a saying, 2 cans per man, per day, per apps. I reckon I can handle this kind of project. Doesn't get any better than this.
Big League Video's Year in Review is brought to you with the good wishes of Carlton and United Breweries, Cathay Pacific Airlines and MasterCard.
The best season of all time? It's a phrase you might have heard on several occasions in 1994. Sure, it's a comment that administrators and promoters love to project every winter until the next term rolls around. However, such proclamations were delivered with substance in 1994, thanks to the advent of the new 10-metre rule, which opened up the game and allowed attacking football to rule the roost and offer entertainment of the highest quality to millions of fans across Australia who absorbed the code either through the turnstiles or at home on television. Over the next 90 minutes, we'll recall the season's many significant and spectacular on-field moments, commencing now with rugby league in carnival mode at the Coca-Cola World Sevens, which is growing in popularity from year to year. I'm David Morrow, and I hope you enjoy this very special episode of Big League Video.
Football, it was quite foreign to them 6-7 years ago. Walker now runs a nice angle, may have given the pass too early. Brad Mackay takes a tackle. Mabon stands and offloads brilliantly for a little man. Mackay for Walker. Walker's in. First try of the match, and it was a beauty. And Rod Mabon's effort was superb.
One of the unusual things about Fiji, they're prepared to go backwards to go forward. They don't mind how much ground they look like losing as long as they keep the ball alive. As Cuba Wide does exactly that. Picks up Saru. It is the last tackle.
Trying to keep the ball alive. Savatabua was there to pick it up. It's gone out to Nandruku. A long pass out to Nalagaliga. Back to Savatabua. And here comes Noah Nandruku. The big step, and Fiji's going to score. Fiji defence is good.
Talking about Fiji being a... Oh, great move there. That's steer mag. Oh, and there's the signature tune right at the end there.
Oh, I reckon he's gone out before he put the ball down. It doesn't matter.
Some of the memories come flooding back through the mind as you see this old jumper for Souths, the black shorts and what have you. Some of the great players that have worn these numbers down through the years. Keogh. Smith supports. Cut out pass wide. Wirrett's flying now. Now you'll see the fastest man in rugby league. Shane Wirrett delighting the crowd. Through the hands of Pearson and dropped onto the boot then for the clear by Steadman. A very deep kick. One of the Great Britain players is coming so fast. This is St. John Ellis. Ellis! Oh, St. John!
the Russians launching a raid. But Mani. And Mani for the corner, and he's in to score.
Canberra now 5 tackles to run.
David Thune is into the clear. Have they got the pace to run him down?
Yes, they'll get him.
They're going to get him. Oh, he's throwing him away. He brushed him off like a fly. 18 apiece with 30 seconds to go. Are we heading for extra time? Glanville doesn't think so. Neither does Newcastle. Robbie O'Davis coming in for a try. Oh, that's a 9.7.
There's no reason why Bob McCarthy won't continue. He's the first grade coach. Kenny Shine, the reserve grade coach, and I'm in the under 21. So there's no way that I could do it anyway.
Well, whoever's
even if I
coached
could.
this 7 side has done a good job. Those last 2 passages of play, absolutely outstanding. And again, the Canterbury defence has been tremendous. Good ball from Craig Field, keeps the play alive. Another flick pass inside, the little kick through. That's a try.
It's a great try.
Scored by Paul Mellor.
Manly a little subdued in the first half. Terry Hill running straight across field and straightening but not finding the gap. And well, he's up and going again. Coast defenders didn't want to hang on to him. Cliffy Lyons getting it away from Matthew Ridge. And running off Ridge with a good pass to him was Jamie Oljanik. And backing up on the outside is Daniel Gartner. Basketball pass back inside. Manly keep the football alive. Cliffy Lyons is going to go in for try number 2.
This is really a match to decide who plays the trophy, who plays the plate. Great recovery by the Tigers. And a try.
Shades of Canterbury. Gearin.
Quite entertaining play in this match. The Papua New Guineans very keen to throw the ball wide. Here's Philip Bogey. Bogey's going to score. Look, they've given up, the South Africans. They just stopped dead. Go and score it, Philip Bogey.
Now let's see it. Yeah!
10 metres out. Last tackle now for the Americans. New got it across for Dwyer.
Great ball.
Great try. David New goes in to score the second American try.
Well, wouldn't it be great down the track if the game can evolve enough so that we might see them on the international scene one day? It's unfortunate rugby league, I suppose, really only played on a test level by a few nations, especially compared to other sports, and that's why something like this tournament is so important. One day we just might see these players
look at it go
at test level, and that's great stuff from Japan. Keeping the ball alive, it's got support inside, doesn't need it. What about the change of pace there? Suji Matobi, and gets it round next to the post. That's great stuff from Japan.
Japan perhaps had been the crowd favourites during their maiden rugby league excursion down under, but it wasn't enough to propel them into the semi-finals. After 2.5 days of competition, the last 4 teams were St George, Fiji, Manly Warringah and the rapidly improving Western Samoans.
He can lay the tries on, he can finish them off, he can convert them. This game is made for Phil Blake. A couple of tackles left for Manly before they hand it over. Matthew Ridge comes into the play once more, trailing him through, and making the break is none other than Clifford Lyons, and he puts on his exhibition. That might be a 9.9 for the old fella.
It's been a diving contest.
So Papua New Guinea in possession in their own quarter. Moving it out wide. And a nice run. Mullins coming quickly, but the Papua New Guineans keep the football alive, and they're looking very threatening, and this is going to be a magnificent...
Papua New Guinea may have been pipped in the plate final by Canberra, but they deserve bonus points for innovation with this touchdown. And when it came to handing out the winner's cheque for the tournament, Manly were at the head of the queue, determined to atone for receiving second prize 12 months earlier.
Hills into the clear, Western Suburbs to Manly this year. What a purchase he's proving to be already with his 7th career, indelible in the minds of the Manly fans as he puts it down for a try, pursued by Mundine, but in vain. It's all Manly. To the left of the ground, it's gone through 2 sets of hands, and it's with Terry Hill now. In Hardy's tackle, he stands and promotes Ridge. Ridge forced back a couple of paces by Walker, but still able to get it out the back for Danny Moore. Walker busy in defence, unable to shut the ball down. Lyons pushes Oljanik ahead. He bumps away from Blake. And the former Penrith junior, Jamie Oljanik, goes in for another Manly try. Gartner works the blind, which they've managed to stack up with numbers. Lyons then turns it back open side for Gartner. And Danny Moore will salute that try line again.
And they're going to be very hard to beat. Everyone's looking for a side to beat Brisbane. And Manly probably would be second favourites in the competition now.
I know it doesn't mean much in the final wash-up of the Winfield Cup, Paul, but it is a great way to start the season, isn't it? Having some success.
Here's Jack Elsgood into some open pasture. He's piling on the pace. Here comes Mundine across the park. Elsgood running away from Mundine. The Rookie of the Year in '93, Jack Elsgood. He's playing with an injury in this. And that's the first time he's gone for the full throttle. And that is getting up onto an equal plateau with the Brisbane Broncos. Here's Scott Goulet, who's just signed with St George for a couple of more years, but nothing's turning out for the Dragons. Ask this young man, Daniel Gartner. He'll verify it as he goes in for a Manly try, and that's the end of it, really. 44 points to 12.
One of the great aspects of knockout competitions is the opportunity given to the less fancied outfits. This year's pre-season challenge produced the classic David versus Goliath encounter, when the two-time premiers Brisbane met the no-names from South Sydney in the tournament decider. It was expected to be one-way traffic in the border town of Albury, but someone forgot to tell that to the Rabbitohs.
They work to the blind side, and Jason Bell is put away without a great deal of ground gain. Fairly ordinary played the ball, and Tyron Smith comes back. Now they're only 6 metres out from the line. Souths are getting play the balls in very quickly. Craig Field does some dancing. The ball goes to Smith, goes to ground. Field gets it away to Bell. Bell gets it inside. Duniger goes over. Souths leading 4-0. Gavin Allen. That was raked out. It might be a penalty. It is to Brisbane. They'll take the kick, I would imagine.
Quick tap, I think, will be taken. Kerrod Walters, here he goes. They want to try the Brisbane Broncos.
Kevin Walters now. 3 or 4 metres out from the line. Game Brisbane. Refusing to take the kick. Langer works, throws the dummy. Here's a try. Cohen goes in, and that's 4 points all. Gary Belcher said it. Ideal condition. Mellor! Good run by Mellor. 15 out from the line. Can they go on with it from here? South Sydney using Craig Field, looking for runners, goes himself, gives it for Smith. Smith, he's over the line. It's a try. Formerly from Manly, Mestrov. Skiffaletti is getting out from dummy half dangerously. Jason Bell makes the break, backed up and supported by his teammates, and Wilson is away. Wilson, he scores for the Rabbits. The Broncos just inside the South Sydney 20-metre line. Kerrod Walters cuts it out across the face. Galia gets it away. Madison will score! So that's not a bad play for South Sydney. They're on their second tackle, and here they are to the halfway. Still on their second tackle. Craig Field gets between them. Goes back looking for support. Finds Paul Mellor. I don't think they'll catch him. Mellor, he scores the Rabbits' 4th try. Oh, boy, oh, boy.
Sensational play by South Sydney.
Kerrod's certainly got his sleeves rolled up. Craig Field with a bullet-like pass for Jason Bell. Tyron Smith gets inside the 20-metre line. Already the scorer of 1, he wants another. Bell, here's the drop goal. Duncan McRae, and it's okay. Up goes the arm of McCallum. Walters, Hancock. 5 or 6 metres from the line. Was there a marker? Hancock goes himself. McCallum says it was legitimate. And Kerrod Walters is now the half. Kevin goes himself. The Australian 5'8" scores his normal try.
In this last minute, they don't want to be tackling low, South Sydney. They've got to go high on every occasion.
Good hands by the Broncos. Here's trouble. Willie Cahn's away. Craig Field's chasing. Cahn. He goes all the way. Paul Quinn gets out there in 14 to block up the hole. Gavin Allen, meantime, promotes Madison. He floats it for Khan. We were talking about 3 tries earlier, weren't we? He's tackled. 25 metres out from the line. Scored 2 already tonight. Walters away to Johns. Johns on and away from Ryan for Saylor. He does the dancing. This is the last tackle. You can see the arm upraised in the middle of the field by McCallum. Then Platt. Now Renoff. Look out. Here they come again. The Broncos have hit the lead. 24-23. Skiffaletti. Field holds it back. Bell. Back for Field. Magnificent pass by Bell. Then away from Quinn. McRae. He's tackled by Lazarus. Played ahead. Goes himself McRae. Flicks it out. Quinn away. Bell. Craig Field. There's a try. There's a try for the Rabbits. And they're back in front.
Oh, unbelievable stuff. Last tackle. Brisbane complaining. What about the pass from Jason Bell?
Bob McCarthy, an anxious Rabbit on the sideline. They've got it, I think. 79-33, says the clock. And they're 29 out from the line. And there's the siren. The siren is there. And the Rabbits have won a rugby league competition for the first time in 13 years in first grade. The Broncos disappointed, but they'll be the first to dip their lid and say well done to this young South Sydney side. The people from down on the border have seen a magnificent clash. 1 point the difference, 27-26 to the Rabbits.
So with the preliminary events out of the way, it was time for Rugby League's bread and butter, as Eastern Suburbs and St George ignited the Winfield Cup on the second Friday in March. Rooster fullback Rod Silver grabbed the competition's first 4-pointer, and for most of the match, it seemed as though the home side would get the result, despite the dismissal of Luke Ricketson. However, 2 late tries enabled Saints to run out winners in an absorbing tussle.
Getting it down into field goal territory. Tell us, they won't need a field goal. Goldthorpe scores.
Get back towards
As if the shock of the pre-season challenge final wasn't enough, the Broncos would have been the victims of another king-sized upset, but for the controversial denial of this late Parramatta try that saw them escape with a 16-all draw in round 1.
Try disallowed now. This one is the most controversial. It would have been the match winner. Brett Plowman thought it was fair enough. From here I thought it was fair enough. The referee had a look. He's asked the touch judge.
Canberra's campaign may have ended on the perfect note, but it certainly didn't start that way when they were humbled by Cronulla under lights at Caltex Field.
On the outside, shut the gate. The Sharkies are in again.
The most eagerly awaited confrontation of the Winfield Cup's opening round pitted Canterbury, the previous season's minor premiers, against Manly, who had high expectations for 1994 after recruiting numerous big names. Canterbury's tried and tested combination, though, outlasted the Eagles. After snaring their first major competition in over a decade, Souths were smartly brought back to earth by a rampant Newcastle unit that paraded a potential champion in halfback Andrew Johns. He set a premiership record by compiling 23 points in a memorable first-grade debut. The Gold Coast 13-point crushing of Brisbane in round 2 wasn't just the biggest upset of 1994. It will probably be remembered for a very long time as the most incredible result of the modern era. Field goals were the flavour of round 2 as Cronulla's Mitch Healy and West Jim Sedaris helped their respective sides to victories by the smallest of margins with late attempts.
Langmack to Sedaris, who has a potted goal. It's a sensational-looking kick.
I think it's
and
all
away to the right. No,
it's there.
Magnificent kick from Jimmy Sedaris.
Clearly stung by their opening round loss to Cronulla, the Green Machine finally clicked in round 2 by amassing the second 40-point tally against South Sydney in as many matches. They may have had to wait 6 months, but the taste of revenge was very sweet for St George when they outplayed their grand final tormentor Brisbane at ANZ Stadium in round 3. After winning their opening 2 games, things were starting to look up for Warren Ryan's Magpies. However, that early promise came to grief in round 3 against a red-hot Manly side that could do no wrong. The 66-8 scoreline represented the second biggest loss in West's 86-year history.
And dancing away is Cliff Lyons. He's done it again. And it doesn't bring a smile to his face, but it could well have done. Lyons Can they get to 50?
1994 was supposed to be the year of the coach in Australian sport, but it certainly wasn't a good year for the league coaching fraternity, with 4 coaches either resigning or being sacked before the competition could reach its natural conclusion. The first victim was South Sydney's Bob McCarthy, who quit after this round 3 loss to Canterbury. As if Canberra didn't have enough talent in the backs already, they found themselves with another star in 1994 called Ruben Wiki. He notched 4 tries in this match with Newcastle.
This is Wiki. Wiki through the gap. He's going for the line. Ruben Wiki dives over. And that's another try to the Canberra Milk Raiders.
After a poor start to their title defence, Brisbane finally got their act together against Eastern Suburbs in round 4 by issuing a 44-12 shellacking on Good Friday.
Spectacular stuff, and it's a try.
If you like your footy tough and hard, then outside of the state of origin, it would seem that Manly versus Newcastle matches are just the ticket. In a bruising round 4 encounter at Marathon Stadium, it took this dodgy try to separate the 2 combatants. North Sydney made it 4 wins in as many outings with his high-calibre defeat of Penrith at North Sydney Oval, where many of the locals were starting to rave about a young fullback called Sears.
Through and finds David Hall. There's a try coming. Alexander's got a big headache here. And away goes Sears.
Canterbury staged another multicultural day for their round 4 clash with Canberra, but with the benefit of hindsight, they could have also tagged it Grand Final Preview Day, for the 2 sides turned on the sort of football that had fans in raptures, particularly those in blue and white, who witnessed a 17-12 victory to the locals.
Brett Mullins, who then draws the defence. This is Nagus. Oh, he's lightning on his feet. Steps inside and scores.
There was more great action served up in round 5 when Cronulla finished strongly to down Manly before a ground record crowd at Caltex Field. With Ken Shine settling in as South Sydney's head coach following Bob McCarthy's departure, the Rabbitohs finally managed to get a result by overcoming West in a forgettable round 5 encounter. In the lead-up to round 5, there was much interest over the return to Brisbane of former favourite Trevor Gilmister. He was sporting the Penrith colours, but not even the Axe could prevent the Premiers from delivering a 30-point spanking.
Referee says no and gives the try number 3 to Willie Carr.
Brisbane weren't permitted the same attitude a week later, though, when they met the ironclad resistance of North Sydney, who extended their unbeaten stretch to 6 games with this 1-point win at ANZ Stadium. South Sydney's 6th-round tussle with Manly will be recalled for 2 separate incidents. The dismissal of halfback Craig Field, which eventually saw his suspension quashed by the appeals board, and this remarkable try to Mark McGaw.
It's an incredible try. It's a miracle, but well done, South. They're on fire here. They're throwing the ball anywhere. The ad-lib football, the ad-lib kings, that's what they are.
The most dominant display by any side in 1994 was submitted by Canberra against Manly in round 7 when they belittled the visitors 30-6, despite playing most of the match a man short.
Nagus scores, and that puts the nail in the coffin.
Steve Renniff made Melbourne his personal playground in round 7 when he slashed his way over the home turf of the Carlton Football Club to record 4 tries against a hapless Balmain, whose job wasn't made any easier by the ejection of lock-forward Martin Marcella.
Comes to the fullback, steps straight past him, left him pointless. He's an amazing player, Steve Renniff. What a sidestep.
It may not have been as spectacular as Renner's offering, but Matt Toshak proved to be just as valuable to North Sydney as the Aussie centre when he grabbed this neat try which denied St George and kept the Bears at the table's apex after 7 rounds.
Soden was able to recover what was a stupid pass. Will it be stupid? No, it will not. It's a try for Matthew Toshak.
Lady Luck may have helped Jared McCracken to this intercept try against West in round 7. However, she deserted the Bulldogs on the same afternoon when champion pivot Terry Lamb suffered a broken arm that barred him from action for just over 3 months. The Winfield Cup's only unblemished record was tarnished in round 8 when Newcastle edged out the Bears in a fabulous game at North Sydney Oval.
This is the last. Trindle away from dummy half.
League returned to the Sydney Cricket Ground in stunning fashion when Souths came from behind to eclipse Balmain in one of the year's most entertaining bouts.
Big Hermanson gets the try.
The slide of St George, that was to become an avalanche by mid-season, could be traced back to the round 8 battering they took from a previously out-of-form Illawarra, who derived considerable pleasure from this 24-0 win.
Steelers underneath the sticks.
It didn't get any better for the Dragons when they were out-muscled by Canterbury 7 days later at the football stadium.
Gallops into a gap over the 40-metre line. Goldthorpe is with him, but he puts it behind him. Matthew Ryan, they'll score if McCracken gets into the clear. Get into the clear. I'll tell a man he will. McCracken strolls in.
With several stars either backing up or missing after the City Country fixture 2 days earlier, Canberra were right for the picking in round 9, and it was the Gold Coast of all teams that cut them down with an 8-4 victory at Tweed Heads.
Bartram puts the Gold Coast in front, 4 points to 0.
One of the most notable purchases made by any club in the build-up to 1994 was Penrith's capture of Kiwi genius Gary Freeman, and he didn't let the Panthers down, scoring 4 tries by being in the right place at the right time against West in round 9. In a season where little went right for Balmain, the triumph over Newcastle was one to savour, as the Tigers came from the clouds with this last-minute match winner from centre, Marty Moore.
There, turns it inside to the new man in the number 17, and Balmain gets the score. Balmain Wren, it's Marty Moore for the Balmain Tigers.
Manly fans considered it a form of justice when Terry Hill was awarded this suspect try against Brisbane in round 9, which helped them to a vital win. After all, who can forget that so-called try scored by Kerrod Walters at Lang Park in 1990? Manly didn't need any such luck when they resisted North Sydney the following week in an absorbing struggle played before a ground record crowd at a bulging Bear Park. The Eagles employed admirable control to forge a win that seemed to carry much greater authority than the 11-8 scoreline suggested. It's normally Canberra's backs that grab all the credit, but hooker Steve Walter decided he wanted to run like a winger in the Raiders' round 10 demolition of St George at Bruce Stadium.
Amazing try. Ferner accelerates, it goes straight through to Maybon, steps past him and pops it away to Steve Walters for the hooker's second try.
One of the season's finest spectacles was enacted at Penrith Park in round 10 when Illawarra played out a remarkable 26-all draw with Penrith.
Won't give the pass. Now he does. Wishart floats it back in. McGregor goes for the corner. Back to Wishart. Wishart, he gets the try.
Oh, and it's a classic.
Apart from Rod Wishart's conversion from touch, which gave the Steelers a share of the honours at Penrith, the other 2 contenders for Gold Kick of the Year both came in round 11. Firstly from Jason Taylor, who ignored the heckling of former fans to give Norths a draw with Wests.
Norths have got themselves a draw. It's going to be very close. Very close. It's there. What a pressure kick from Jason Taylor.
And then young Gold Coast fullback Alan Kempnich, who landed this pearler to mark his first-grade debut with a victory over Newcastle.
That's a match-winning kick from the youngster.
With the pressures of the representative season mounting, Brisbane found the going tough and weren't able to resist the eager Steelers in round 11.
John Sermon turns it away, and it goes for O'Mara, and Jonathan Britton, he gets his second try.
Another commanding display came from Manly when they left Leichhardt Oval with a 42-0 annihilation of the hapless Tigers.
He's in open space. Away it comes to Terry Hill, and Terry Hill finishes off some more beautiful Manly Warringah football. Better put it down.
Rugby League discovered a new address in 1994 when Canterbury decided to test the market by playing a couple of games at Waratah Stadium, the home of New South Wales Rugby Union. They christened their alternative base by dominating Penrith.
Kevin Moore pushed on. Oh, there's got to be a try here. Dimmock's come back in field. Kevin Moore gets the 4-pointer.
And so with that result, Canterbury were sitting pretty at the halfway point of the Winfield Cup, 2 wins clear of their nearest enemy, while the grand finalists of the previous 2 seasons, Brisbane and St George, were both trapped outside the top 5. By this stage of the year, the scent of interstate warfare was beginning to pervade the atmosphere as New South Wales and Queensland shaped up for another sensational series. The Blues' preparation for the battles ahead began as usual with the annual Sydney Origin versus Country Origin game, which saw Laurie Daly's Bushies run out convincing winners by 22 points to 2.
The Bulldog gets a try. What a game Dean Pay is having. Away now for Barnhill. No gain in ground. As Country go back towards the centre of the ground, probably to come back with Clyde and Mullins are positioned back on this blind side. Daly is coming from right to left to link up with them now. McGregor follows him across. They've got plenty of personnel on the left. A face ball away. Ryan goes to the 10. Gets it away from Nagers. Nagers gets the try. And Country really ripping into the city. 18 points to 2.
And so we go to the Sydney Football Stadium to relive one of the most incredible games in the State of Origin's 14-year history.
Sadly astray. Play by Ian Roberts. It was a soft play, the first. Lazarus gets it just beyond the 30-metre point. Pushed on for Stewart and across. Daly has opened it up already. Over the halfway line. Had he have looked inside, there was an opportunity.
Oh, Timmy Brass was unmarked on the inside. He can sniff out a try, the fullback, as Meninga goes the blind side and pushes off Mackay and goes over the sideline.
No shortage of goal kickers in the Blues team, but Richard opted not to take it. Sheridan crashes up to them. 8 metres out from the line now. Harrigan wants the ball. Elias comes back. Stewart, now Daly, looking for that gap. 2 metres out, chance here. Blues try, I think. Yes, first try of the game. Down by a converted try, but they've spent the major part of the first half in their own half. Meninga promotes for an opportunity for Khan. Khan goes back in field. Khan runs around them. Khan goes to the 30-metre line. O'Neill supports him. 5 tackles gone now. O'Neill held down by Seranen. Harrigan's patience was tested. Langer runs to the defence line. It came off Daly, and it's dived on there by Roberts.
Well, it was beautiful work from Mal Meninga as they get a penalty, Queensland, and take the quick tap.
Walters across for Meninga. He'll stand and offload. He does for Kevin Walters. He does likewise. Picked up on the half volley by G, and he's tackled. 18 out from the line, right in centre ground. A chance for Queensland now. Steve Walters for Mark Hone. Hone is put away. 12 metres out from the line. Walters to dummy half again as they go left. And a face ball across for Billy Moore. He's tackled by Paul Seranen. And again Seranen hangs on. Walters back for Langer now. Langer puts the step on. Turns it back. Walters away for Renoff. Then Meninga. Now O'Neill. And Julian O'Neill gets the first Queensland try. Elias. Stewart. Fittler. Daly out wider. He's the chaser. He's the leader. He got the ball back. He got inside the 20. Now Brad Mackay. He'll score. New South Wales a try. Fittler and Daly, they landed it on. New South Wales 12 points to 4. Queensland desperate for a converted try, but even that would bring them 2 points short of the New South Wales total. Here goes Alfie Langer. And he's inside the 30-metre line. Billy Moore a dummy half as Queensland go across the field. And it's over there with Khan. He gets it away. And it's with Walters now. Kevin Walters back for Steve Renoff. Renoff, he's dancing inside the 20-metre line. Meninga gets it away. Khan, it comes back across the park. And Willie Khan gets the try. Willie Khan got the try. Queensland, a long, long way to go to either snatch victory or snatch a draw. Coyne at the 79th minute is tackled. Trailing 12-10. Langer pushing it wide. Walters onward. Khan joins in. Floats the pass for Renoff. Renoff down the touchline. Beats one. Gets it in field. Hancock gets it on. Queensland are coming back. Darren Smith for Langer. Langer gets it away. Here's the big fella. Gets the pass on. Coyne goes for the corner and gets the try. Queensland, it's a miracle performance. Oh, yeah!
doubt about that from Queensland. They can't believe it. Unbridled joy on the sideline, and why not?
That's not a try, that's a miracle. Queensland are in front now, 14-12. And Mal Meninga takes the attempt at conversion. Look at this, it's a beauty. Queensland 16-12. And King Wally goes down to meet his Warriors. And look at the face on Mal Meninga. And they've won 16-12.
There couldn't have been any better publicity for the Code than that dramatic climax, and so it was that an Australian Rugby League crowd record of 87,000 was established when the Origin Circus travelled to the Melbourne Cricket Ground for Game 2 of the series.
Moore passing, looking for Fritz. But that's not the way to use Darren Fritz. Got to line him up and put the foot down for him. Langer clearing. And the ball coming down for Brasher in good field possession. He crosses the 30. Mullins angles back to the 20. Larson wraps him up. But here come the Blues now to launch their first attack of the game. Stewart, a long pass out for Harrigan, who goes into the air to take it. Flicks it out the back for Paul McGregor. He angles for an opening, but it doesn't present. They're 12 metres from the Queensland line for Ben Elias. Gives it up for Dean Pay. And the debutant player, one of them, is tackled a few metres out from the line.
They're stacking the left-hand side here, New South Wales.
Elias away, Lazarus! Lazarus gets the try! First of the game! First Rugby League try on the Melbourne Cricket Ground.
And a very well executed move from New South Wales involving Ben Elias and the big man Lazarus coming through. Very difficult to stop here. They tried to move the markers around. You see that the play the ball man actually interferes with one of the Queensland players. It was Andrew G.
Fittler brushing Alan Langer away, and then McGregor flick passes. Eddinghausen, down the line he goes. Hancock chases. O'Neill comes across. Eddinghausen wrapped up. Playing his 21st Origin, Andrew Eddinghausen. A great run. Then across through Daly and Stewart. The chaser is Brasher, taken though by Willie Kahn. Meninga able to step away from Clyde's tackle. He's lost the ball. Mullins gets the pass over for Harrigan. Harrigan, he loses the ball.
Oh, great tackle. Oh, scrambling defence. He had to score, Paul Harrigan. You can see the despair on his face and the pat on the back for Willie Kahn.
Larson, Darren Smith and Gordon Tallis. And now it's with Stewart. He shows it to Fittler. Tries to do it himself. There's a try! McGregor! Paul McGregor! Ricky Stewart magic! The crowd counts it out. 85,500 of them. An Australian record rugby league crowd at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. 14-0 to the Blues.
Master Values gives you discounts on a whole range of things. Fashion, footwear, phones. New Zealand? I'll be right there. And travel too. Pretty useful, hey?
MasterCard. It's more than a credit card. It's smart money.
The emotion was certainly stacked in Queensland's favour for Origin Game 3, with much talk focusing on the final appearance by Mal Meninga in a maroon jersey. Sentiment failed to furnish the Northerners with any luck, though, as New South Wales swooped on Queensland scraps and turned them into precious points.
Clyde, he's going to score! Clyde, he gets the first try! Benny Elias like a thief in the night! So we go to tackle 3 now, with Ben Elias a dummy half for Ricky Stewart, and then for Paul Harrigan. He throws the pass and ran off, goes for the intercept, 6 more tackles, Stewart goes for the corner, angles in for Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen put away, 12 metres out from the line, Elias a dummy half, that was the first tackle, this is the second, and Harrigan is brought down. From Elias again on the 3rd tackle, Stewart across for Daly, Laurie Daly, oh, that is magnificent.
And we see the amount of time when it's a New South Wales scrum. Laurie Daly changes with Paul McGregor. I think he knows Mal's play backwards, and that's probably put there so he can handle Mal Meninga.
Michael Hancock struggling to play the ball. It has since come through 3 sets of hands for Meninga. Meninga 38 metres out from his own line. 2 converted tries to the Blues. 1 for Clyde, 1 for Daly. And Brasher has added the extras. Billy Moore now for Michael Hancock. He's able to beat a couple before offloading. Renoff from a standing start. Runs into Fettler. Intercept! They won't catch Brett Mullins! Brett Mullins, he goes in to score right under the uprights. Queensland have got out of some tight spots in Origin history, but can they get out of this? 18-0 down with 41 minutes to go. Larson, Meninga, over the halfway. Kevin Walters, Alan Langer, 40 metres out. Steve Walters, a chance here.
Let's go, Queensland.
Gordon Tallis is brought down. 21 metres out from the line. This is the last. Khan is the dummy half. The runner is Kevin Walters. He puts a kick in, regathers. Here's a try. Here's a try for Andrew G. Andrew G. He scores for the Maroons. New South Wales leading Queensland at halftime by 18 points to 6. 40-metre line for New South Wales. This is Harrigan. Man of the match in Melbourne. Many thought man of the match in Sydney. Could well be the man of the series. McGregor! McGregor gets away from home. Looks for support. Finds Brasher in the centre, but they put it down. Kevin Walters turning defence into attack. Julian O'Neill now. Outside the 40-metre line. Good tackle by Paul Harrigan. Langer. Attention in back play for Gary Larson. Striding down the ground. Walters finds Renoff. The flying Steve Renoff. Will he make it? Yes, I think so, yes. Momentum got him across.
Back, Queensland.
Just don't want to give an opportunity to Queensland, which means, and the worst way to do that would be to give them possession close to their own line.
You might not have seen... Oh, here's an intercept and a try, and State of Origin 1994. Brad Fittler scores the try, and that is it. 14 seconds left in the match. New South Wales hold the shield, and they rewrite the record books for a New South Wales side. Moore, the pass over for Coyne, and a desperate save over there by Chris Johns. And there's the siren in the background. It is all over. New South Wales wins the Origin of 1994. What a series it's been. Sydney, of course, was a miracle. Melbourne was history. And now, New South Wales wrap it up at Lang Park, something they've never done before. Win an Origin decider at Lang Park. 27 points to 12, and exit from the Origin scene, one of rugby league's greats, Mal Meninga.
With interstate conflict settled, Australia's finest assembled to perform the inevitable dissection of a French team that tried hard but fell several galaxies short in the skill department. This one-off test at Parramatta Stadium was Mal Meninga's final display in green and gold on home soil.
Walters at acting half. He looks at the blind side, and Daly pops the pass, and diving in for the first try is Big Ian Roberts. Brett Mullins brings it back. Sieven is the man that chases in the number 2. A crew working hard in number 11 for the French. 4-0 as the ball goes wide. Quickly out to Renoff, and now Michael Hancock is flying. Comes to the fullback, gets past him, gets inside the 30-metre line. Now they've got him. Tenner and Leong. 20 metres out from the line. Australia quick to the right. Daly runs to the line. Fairley juggles it, pushes it on. Renoff is in space. Renoff heads for the line for the first time tonight. And Renoff gets the second Australian try. Langer with a long ball. Daly sends Harrigan back into the centre. And the defence in the centre hasn't been all that bad. As Walters goes looking for a try, holds it back. Roberts gets his second.
Steve Walters opts to go back 10 metres just to give the side a little bit more room. They go to the backs immediately.
Daly is with it. They're back outside the 20-metre line. He dummied once, then for the captain, and Mal Meninga goes in and scores a try. Walters again for Langer. The choice of Fairley and Siren, and he takes the latter. The big man gets a pass away. Fittler gets it on for Harrigan. Harrigan, a couple of metres short of the line, thought about a double movement. then plays the ball for Walters to spear it on. Langer pushes it out. Daly looks for an opening, then stands, gets a pass away. Meninga flops it over the top, and Mullins gets a try in his debut game for Australia. They're just outside that 10-metre line, and here it is, Fittler coming across, looking for Mullins. Mullins for Renoff. Renoff gets his second. 32-0. Put down by Atia. That's a shame because he's been good. Walters away from Meninga. Meninga for Eddinghausen. And the flashing winger goes for the corner. This time he gets it down. 17 is out there for France now. Georgie. As the Australians go through another hole. Daly for Roberts. Roberts back for Daly. Daly goes over. And Laurie gets his first try of the match. And a mistake as the French make a meal of possession. Mullins strides out, inside for Daly, and Laurie gets his second. Meninga, Mullins looms up. Oh, Mullins loves this stuff. Eddinghausen, put down by Shimura, and also by Atia.
Last tackle, but they've got no numbers out wide, the French. They should run the football here, the Australians.
Langer pushing it on. Daly keeps it going. Fittler is out there, involved in everything. Roberts turns it back, and now it's with Daly once more. The French are very tired. They can hardly pick their feet up. Daly kicks Brasher. Oh, Renoff jumped out of the ground and claimed his third try. Oh, freaking stuff.
Oh, you went for the photo finish and came up with the wrong one.
Walters hears a call back on the blind. Meninga is there, but it's gone right for Langer, then for Daly, and now for McGregor. They won't stop the big Illawarra centre. A fine Origin series, and now rewarded in his first Australian jumper with a try. McGregor.
Langer signalled to his outside men again. They're going to run this one, and they've got numbers.
Fairley. David Fresh tries to hold him, but he can't, and Fittler goes through to score.
Celebrating the new colours of Cathay Pacific, the airline that is the heart of Asia.
And we're playing under
The flip side of a skinny international domestic season brought English glamour side Wigan down under for the World Club Championship Challenge, a crown they had worn twice before in 1987 and 91, but relinquished 12 months later to the Broncos.
That's a try for sure, scored by Dennis Betts.
Really, a lot more enthusiasm in the Wigan side. The support play is very good. The chase is good on the kicks. They go to the back line now, getting Clark involved.
This is Mather stepping through. He's got support with Martin Offia. He runs away from Offia and scores himself. Looks like Dennis Betts in there under that tackle on the last. It is Dennis Betts. He scored the first try. Sean Edwards. He's taking them round the park. Sean Edwards directs where the... Here's Wendell Saylor. Saylor with a great run. The crowd comes to their feet. Kerrod Walters, magnificent support work, but he's lost it. So would you tell me he's gone back to fullback now, Julian O'Neill?
Yes, that's where he's dropped back to. So we've seen three fullbacks in the first 20 minutes.
Here's a good run by Wendell Saylor again. He's stamping himself on the game, and he puts it down. That's a magnificent piece of work.
They're tackling pretty well, and they've put themselves in a position to win this game.
Robinson picked up the dregs. He heads off for the line. Saylor to beat, does that, and puts it down. 7 metres from the line. A chance for Brisbane to strike back immediately. Kerrod, now Alfie.
Great tackle, Sean Edwards, a try saver. That's the last. They've got numbers to the left.
G, the pass to ground, a touch Wigan. Johnny Platt a couple of metres from the line. The ball comes out the back. 6 more tackles, they must score. Hancock, did he get it down? McCallum is still restarting the tackle count with one arm. A sloppy play the ball. Kerrod Walters does it himself. Kerrod's tackled on the 5th. Saylor goes into acting half. Brisbane need to score. Langer's pass for Can. Can gets it away. It's play on for Johns. Now it's on for Khan. Now it's out for O'Neill. He gets it down. It's a Brisbane try. Offia falls back. And Offia's away from 1, 2. Stands in 3. Takes another headlong tackle.
Oh, that is a bad tackle.
It is all over, and the Wigan players rejoice. They have won the trophy back again. For the 3rd time, they take the World Club Championship. 20 points to 14.
With the representative scene now taken care of, we can hone in on the race for the 1994 Winfield Cup. We venture into the second half of the premiership with Penrith pulverising Canberra.
Long ball for Fittler. Fittler cuts straight through. Fittler does it all himself. Oh, great work by Brad Fittler. And Gary Freeman takes a day to finally score the try. Freeman hunting around, finds Alexander, pops it up for Nalangi. Langi, there it is. Beautiful ball. And there's the try for Graham Mackay. What a pass. What a finish from the winger.
Brisbane fans had to get used to living on the edge in '94, especially on this nerve-wracking night at ANZ Stadium, which saw the Premiers get home at the death on the back of this dubious pass.
It's been scored by Peter Ryan. Ryan gets in the corner, and the fans have gone mad here.
Going 4 games without a win, North Sydney's campaign was in dire need of resuscitation, and it was a gamble from coach Peter Louis that offered the kiss of life when he axed long-serving skipper Tony Ray and ejected former half Mark Soden as hooker. After their dreadful start to the premiership, South Sydney were firing by mid-season and at last looked likely to realise the promise they showed in the pre-season. The Rabbitohs' enthusiasm at this stage of the competition was mirrored in the facial expressions of centre Jason Sinclair, and the bright style of football they played made them more popular viewing on Friday nights in winter.
Back and across for Craig Field again. He's getting busy. Runs into a gap. Trindle looks for another gap. He finds it now. Taliai, what's he going to do tonight? Taliai!
At the other end of town, North Sydney showed they were a serious contender by outsmarting Canterbury in round 13 at Waratah Stadium.
Oh, that's a miracle try! Well, Sean Hoppy claims it.
I think tonight,
3 months of indifference, Brisbane finally turned on the class in round 14 to overwhelm Souths and begin their charge towards the playoffs.
Brisbane then winning the scrum and the cut-out pass. Beautifully directed across for O'Neill. O'Neill's in space. O'Neill will score.
Anyone who didn't view Norths as a Winfield Cup heavyweight would have surely thought otherwise after the Bears dispatched Canberra in round 14.
Hoppy's in the corner. Hoppy's in. This is where Norths are getting on a roll. These play the balls and gaining the ground. Just the easy yards. Away it goes, and here's a chance. Hoppy's out there. Cleary's out there. They've scored the try.
July the 3rd will always be remembered as a sad day for the proud St George Club. On that afternoon, Manly took out a giant carving knife and administered a 61-0 massacre that rewrote the record books as the worst defeat in the Dragons' 73-year history.
This is Robbo now, crashing down the blind side and offloading with one arm. Power and strength from Ian Roberts, as well as a lot of skill. Terry Hill feeds Owen Cunningham, and this energetic lock forward goes in to score another Manly try. They're on top at the moment, the Eagles.
One piece of satisfaction that has always eluded Newcastle since they entered the big time in 1988 has been victory over Brisbane. However, that changed in round 15 when they downed the Premiers 24-10 at home. St George players responded to the humiliation suffered at Brookvale in the only way that professional sportsmen could, by getting the right result at their next start. Western Suburbs were on the receiving end under lights in Adelaide. Each season produces its share of noteworthy incidents, but I doubt there's been anything as remarkable as what transpired one Saturday night in July at Caltex Field. Referee Bill Harrigan ordered Penrith coach Phil Gould from the sidelines after comments made by members of the Panthers coaching staff during play. Now what's he doing? He's talking to coach Phil Gould. Gould and Harrigan patched up their differences a few days later, and a week later, Gould quit as Penrith boss to sign a lucrative deal with Eastern Suburbs.
So I tell you what, this will be headlines for the next week. Gould laughs, a wry smile.
Belmore Sports Ground was packed to the rafters in round 16 as competition heavyweights Manly and Canterbury slugged it out. The Bulldogs' 26-10 success put the stopper on a Manly scoring spree that had yielded 95 points to nil in the Eagles' previous two starts. Speaking of scoring sprees, Canberra's late-season surge began in round 16 when they smashed Cronulla 56-12 at Bruce Stadium.
Keeps it going to Mullins. He streaks away from Green. Has support on both sides, and here's a try to Croker.
They say that rugby league is all about taking the opportunities that come your way, and that's exactly what Souths did in snatching 3 intercept tries to keep their finals dream alive against Newcastle in round 16.
The day of intercepts. The day of intercepts. Climaxes for South Sydney.
North Sydney didn't need to worry about intercepts when they crushed Balmain by 54 points to 18 on the same day.
Again, who started the movement. Cleary switches back to the inside, gets it back off Taylor. And Ivan Cleary scores the first try of the afternoon for the North Sydney Bears.
In an era where coaches constantly preach the need for mistake-free football, it's great to see players take risks and get away with it, as Andrew Eddinghausen did in this miraculous play against Canterbury in round 17.
Magnificent football by Cronulla. They want the quick play the ball. It was Jason Smith who got to Eddinghausen. Watson, lovely ball to Neve. To Hick, to the corner. Andrew Hick is over. Fantastic piece of football by Cronulla.
Meantime, the points just kept rolling in for Canberra as they dismembered South's 48-8 in round 17, with Brett Mullins collecting 4 tries.
Mullins go, the step, and the pace of the Bears just exhilarating.
After flirting with the top 5 for most of the season, Newcastle were given their marching orders from contention when upset in round 17 by Western Suburbs, who were playing under caretaker coach Wayne Ellis following the resignation of Warren Ryan a fortnight earlier.
Suburbs scored the opening try of the second half, and the Maggies are on a bit of a roll.
Also playing under new direction by this time was Eastern Suburbs, who'd parted with coach Mark Murray in early July. Arthur Beetson took the reins until the season's end, but even Big Artie's wisdom couldn't impede the progress of North Sydney when the two sides clashed in Perth.
Matt Toshak.
The coaching merry-go-round continued when Roy Simmons stepped into the Penrith job for the round 17 duel with St George after Phil Gould's departure for Bondi Junction. The Simmons touch brought instant results as the Panthers scored a narrow win.
Scores a try, but put it down to the little man Freeman.
After more than 3 months in the grandstand, Terry Lamb made his return to duty in round 18 against Souths at Waratah Stadium, where he clocked his 300th game of first-grade football.
With the ball, ricochets off a would-be tackle. Then for Simon Gillies. Gillies, he's over the line. Does he get it down? Referee on the spot with the in-goal judge, and it's a try.
St George would have loved nothing better than knocking the Broncos from semi-final contention in their round 18 battle at Cogra, and they might have done just that, but for the brilliant individual performance of Brisbane winger Wendell Saylor.
And that is a Brisbane try out of nothing.
The Broncos were now starting to look nervously over their shoulders at the charge towards September of Illawarra. They were playing some very impressive football at Steelers Stadium.
Who picked that ball up brilliantly. Simon away to Wishart. And Wishart scores yet another try for the Illawarra Steelers.
Standing high above all other contenders, though, was a sizzling Canberra outfit that stunned a big Newcastle crowd in round 18 with a 52-16 destruction of the home side. Again, Brett Mullins was a sight to behold with 4 magical tries.
He's away, they will not catch him. He scored 13 tries for the year, and this is his 14th.
Steve Walters to dummy half. Mullins is working behind the play the ball. Furner's there, gives him the football. Here goes Mullins again. Mullins
There was more Mullins magic to come 7 days later when the Raiders cast aside Canterbury 36-6 in freezing conditions at Bruce Stadium.
Down it comes in the... Oh, from nowhere, Brett Mullins.
I couldn't read Ray, but that ball said something to Ricky Stewart as he put it in.
Meninga breaks into space. Outside him is one of the fast men, Nandruku. He doesn't go for him, he goes for Mullins. Turns it back inside. Meninga, he scores himself. They win the scrum.
Not even the rugby league graveyard of Steelers Stadium could harness Canberra's fluency in round 20.
The big step. Oh, Mullins. He breaks the record of Nandruku.
The lights have been burning late into the night at Penrith Stadium during the week, so they've keyed themselves up for a big one. They'd love nothing more to put Brisbane.
Here's trouble again for Illawarra. Clyde gets behind them. Meninga, the dummy. They won't stop him. Meninga gets the try. And Canberra lead by 19-8.
After being overcome by Canberra, the Steelers needed fellow fifth-place aspirants Brisbane to come unstuck, and that's what happened at Penrith just 2 days later. There may have been little perceivable interest in this game between West and South when it was played in round 20, but that certainly wasn't the case a few weeks later when rumours swept Sydney of a match-fixing scam involving Rabbitoh players. After a lengthy police investigation, Souths were cleared of allegations that 4 players had bet large amounts of money on West to beat them.
It came away from Andrew Willis. On it goes to Paul Smith. Leeds looks for support. Josh White's there, and White scampers away to score another Western Suburbs try.
Just when many critics thought that Brisbane were washed up for 94, they produced a tremendous 17-0 disposal of North Sydney in round 21.
MacArthur came back from injury tonight, I believe, in reserve grade. But the point is that Caruana has stood the test of time. And here's Walters getting into a gap. Renouf is coming up. Oh, that's it, I'd say. They're chasing, but they may as well not because Renouf's too fast.
With that result at Bear Park, all the pressure was now on Illawarra to leave Belmore with the 2 competition points and maintain a share of 5th spot with the Broncos. However, a Canterbury side intent on snaring the minor premiership had a little too much polish.
Wilson streaks away for the try and will score right between the posts.
There was plenty of emotion around in round 21 via 2 distinct farewells. The first was a personal one as Canberra fans saluted Mal Meninga in his last appearance at Bruce Stadium.
Canberra through Stewart. It's a free kick. West offside. Stewart, great skills, quickly taking advantage of all the Western Suburbs players being offside. Away it comes to Nandruku. Zadaris won't stop him. Another try to the Raiders. And Mal Meninga says farewell to Bruce Stadium. The signs say it all, and the Mal Meninga grandstand is born.
There weren't too many dry eyes around Leichhardt Oval late in the afternoon of August the 21st when Balmain played their final match at the ground following the club's decision to shift to Parramatta and become the Sydney Tigers. However, the tidal wave of emotion wasn't enough to snatch the locals a farewell win. Illawarra got the money against Newcastle in the final home and away round thanks to this late Rod Wishart intercept, but the Steelers faithful really needed a much bigger miracle in the shape of wooden spooners Balmain toppling Brisbane at ANZ Stadium to create a playoff for 5th position. It wasn't to be though, as the Broncos churned out 40 points against the Tigers.
Mark gets it away to Renouf, cuts away from Small, tackle by Small, back to Plapp. Plapp looking for support, he finds Kevin Walters again. There's Alan Langer. Langer dummies, cuts across field, slips out of the tackle, and Lowe goes over beside the post. Alan Langer in for yet another try, and the Broncos have a lead of 27-6.
The match that everyone was waiting for had Brookvale Oval bursting at the seams as Manly arm-wrestled Canberra for a berth in the top 3. In a match played with the intensity of a semi-final, Canberra's extra dimension of class and speed shone through.
Stewart! And now Wiki! He gets it over the line!
North Sydney continued to defy the Narcs, who said they couldn't attack, by toting up 48 points in a smooth last round workout against St George.
Away
and Matty Sears scores. 1994 was a satisfactory season for Cronulla as they constructed their strongest playoff quest in several years. And even though they fell short of that aim, they still rounded the season off in fine style by walloping Souths 42-0. Andrew Ettinghausen streaking over for 5 tries. A mighty mark was set in round 22 when Canterbury legend Terry Lamb ran out for his 304th first-grade game, bettering the number established by Jeff Gerard in 1989. That defeat of West ensured that the Dogs would claim the minor premiership for the second year running, while Canberra's win over Manly saw those two clubs swap positions on the eve of the finals, which we're going to shortly. But firstly, we present Big League Video's Team of the Year and the 10 best tries from the 1994 Winfield Cup.
Football against Brisbane and left us with no doubts that for Newcastle to do well, Sargent has to do well. They come to the blind for Matthew Johns, and he keeps it low. Nandruku hung the hand out at it, and that's probably why he was pretty keen to go back and recover. Now Mullins opens up again. Oh, look at him go! He beats O'Davis on the outside, and away he goes again. Brett Mullins scores his second 90-metre try. How good is this bloke?
Unbelievable. Look, no chance to come back onto the field as he left before, hobbling on one leg, one eye closed. Fittler pops a lovely pass to Freeman. Inside is Mackay. On it goes to Girdler. And still now to Alexander. Beautiful football, lovely pass. Steve Carter, they won't stop him. Or will they get him more? More victory, but it's a try.
Defence front on, it's Trindle.
Ben Elias kicking on an early tackle. It's been prearranged. Oh, Bradshaw! That's magical stuff! This is the last. Lager's going to go to the air, I think. No, he puts it through the hand. Now it's with Willie Kahn. Stops and goes back. Beats another one. 12 metres out. Kicks wide. There's a try coming. Oh, how beautiful is that? How good is that? That is a rugby league try and a half.
What a try! Now it really just comes down in this last 4.5 minutes to whichever side can get down there and take advantage of the opportunity. Set for the field goal. Good pass from McRae. Links midfield. He's got Bell.
Bell's able to stand and offload. Hermanson flicks it out the back. Goldspink accepts. Turns it back for Craig Field. Ducks under the tackle of Hall. Gets in between Hudson. Gets the pass on for Trindle. Trindle stands up the fullback. He's going to score. Souths have come back. They've come back to win. It's smiles all round.
South Sydney, Trindle again. In combination, it comes from Bell, back to Sinclair onto Field, and Field looks for support. He finds it, taking it up as Mestrov, out wide. Donoher did well to pick that up, the big second rower. And look at him stretch out on the inside. Lovely skills. It went from Miller, and Hermanson finishes off. What is a fantastic Rabbitohs try.
Coyne goes the blind side. Caught Daly napping to Walford now. Kick ahead. It's really Ricky Walford or Donnelly going to have to do it themselves. It's Blake. Can't make the tackle, and Nagus strides away. Look at this. This is champagne. This is going to be 100 metres. Donnelly gives chase. How fast are you, Kenny Nagus? Jason Donnelly gives it everything he can, but it's not enough. Kenny Nagus runs 95 metres.
Parramatta now looking to go downfield via the left boot of Michael Speechley. He finds space and delivers over the head of Rod Silver, who waits and waits. I think he thought he was going to go dead at first, but it didn't. Anyway, he's picked it up and made good progress, stepping past the first Parramatta line. He's linked up now with Shane Wirt. Rugby League's fastest man streaks into Parramatta territory and links up with Craig Salvatore. The Roosters go coast to coast for a splendid team try.
Well, they've got some tremendous players to do it, Johnny, because Dave Gillespie, that's one of his favourite boys. There we see Dunford flopping another one back to Tuvey.
Yeah, and look what happens with the back line. They've got to adjust themselves again. Invariably something happens. Here's Hill making the good run and looking for support. Oh, he gets it to Hancock. Hancock flying down the line. Menzies is inside calling for it. There's more support there as well for Menzies. It's Danny Moore. Crossell giving chase. Moore's trying to take him on. Back to Hancock. Great backing up from Craig Hancock. Oh, the crowd are on their feet for that one. Sedaris again to White. Out to Georgalis. Flings it out wide looking for Smith. Smith gets it back inside. Willis. Carney goes for it himself. Pops it over to White. White's still alive. Willis flings it back. It is the last tackle. Carney's lost it. They've gone backwards 20 metres. Paul Smith now to Manoa Thompson, to Dunn. Paul Smith again. Sidaris, they've got the numbers. Sidaris heads wide. Puts the pass out of the
We begin our selection of Big League Video's Team of the Year with perhaps the most clear-cut choice of all, the brilliant Brett Mullins at fullback. On the flanks, we have the vastly improved Wendell Saylor and Darryl Halligan, who was the Premiership's leading point scorer for the 4th straight season. Our centres are Steve Reniff, the top try scorer of 1994, and Andrew Ettinghausen, who seems to be regarded solely as a winger at representative level, despite his magnificent form in the centres for Cronulla. Greg Florimo grabs the 5'8" spot after his inspirational efforts for Norths, while we've overlooked the Stewart versus Langer debate to select Cronulla rookie Paul Green as the scrum feeder. It would be impossible to leave out the great Bradley Clyde from any 13, while his Raider mate David Furner provides one half of a dynamic attacking second row with Manly marvel Steve Menzies, who could sniff out a try from nothing. At prop, Ian Roberts was a model of consistency throughout the winter at all levels of endeavour, while Paul Harrigan was outstanding in the State of Origin and helped Newcastle to some mighty wins. Our hooker is Western Suburbs workhorse Jimmy Sidaris, and we've entrusted the Premiership winning mentor Tim Sheens to take care of this awesome lineup. North Sydney's David Fairley annexed the prestigious Rothmans Medal as the competition's best and fairest, while Matt Sears received the Norwich Rising Star Award for being the outstanding rookie. While at the other end of the age spectrum, Manly's Cliff Lyons won the Dally M Award.
Wherever I go in Australia and overseas, I always carry my MasterCard. It's hard to believe, but it's more widely accepted than rugby.
Hey, dammi la palla!
Eccola qua.
MasterCard. It's more than a credit card. It's smart money.
And so we've arrived at the 1994 final series, where Brisbane might have been shooting for a hat-trick of premiership titles, but Canberra were the unit that all the other contenders feared the most.
The match going out to you live around Australia on the 9 Network. I hope you're enjoying it. Caruana and David Hall pursue the kick. It's still loose, waiting for North Sydney. 6 more tackles. Taylor couldn't take it from the feet, and Canberra come back with it.
Well, there was a chance there for North Sydney through the mess-up. Ricky Stewart couldn't get to the ball as Mullins makes a break. He's away.
Mullins is outside the 40-metre line. That's it. That is it. They couldn't possibly catch him. Mullins. Well, what about young Sears?
What about young Sears? What about Revy?
Fair dinkum, you'd take 10s on, wouldn't you?
Well, it's got to be a penalty to Canberra here, no doubt. But they'd rather give 2 away North Sydney than 6. Almost a professional foul offence here, and it is. 10 minutes in the bin.
Well, if I told you that Brett Mullins had 5 metres start in a rugby league sprint with 50 to go, what would you do? Here they go, the Raiders for the corner. He's over. Croker.
11 minutes of the first half to go as Stewart.
Here's a call from Daly. Daly goes down the blind side. Daly looks for his winger. He finds the flying Fiji, and Nandruko. He's in for the Canberra try.
It's with Taylor now, and he lets Larson go before finding Florimo. Billy Moore did well. Florimo puts a kick out to the wing,
and it's been picked up by Nagas. Swooped upon it. I'm not going to say it this time, but I think he's going to score. Yes, he does.
If the Raiders have any concerns, it might be over Brett Mullins as this ball comes back for Matt Sears to bring it out to the 20. Oh, gee, that's a long pass, and they've put it down. They offered the mistake. Nandruku gets it away for Ruben Wiki. Wiki away for Clyde. Clyde on for Stewart. Stewart has to do the dancing. He does that. He heads for open spaces. He's still going. Stewart. Magnificent stuff. 7 metres out from the North Sydney line. Westley. He's put away. 3 metres out from the line. Stewart is at first receiver. Meninga's on the blind side. Will they chance that? Stewart comes wide. Out for Bradley Clyde. Hetherington's on his left. Clyde looks to go the other way. He does that. And here's another try for Quinton Porgia. A chance for North Sydney to get on the board. It's with Jason Taylor, and then across for Craig Wilson. He's over the line. The ball is down with downward pressure. That's got to be a try. It is. Stewart with the long ball back across the ruck, and then Daly and Meninga combine before Mullins looks for a hole up the centre, and it's there. Mullins into space. Croker's with him. Croker now. He puts the ears back, looks for support. Here's Walters. Walters is with him, but Croker, he doesn't need Walters. He's in to score himself. Well, Wiki there, he didn't have to chance the pass. It's a pass that you'd expect North Sydney to give, but that's just so typical of the Canberra side. They don't care about the scoreboard. And you just saw Ruben Wiki trying to squeeze a pass that wasn't on, but he thought, well, I'll give it a shot anyway. Here's Caruana. Caruana's in space. He's into the corner. Gets it down.
Manly's hopes of reversing the result of their 1993 elimination semi-loss to Brisbane disappeared in a puff of Steve Renouf genius.
Scoring machine. Renouf. We've seen it before. Here he goes again. Renouf. On the end of 26 tackles, they turn sheer defence into utter attack. Renouf.
Lions, Tuvey, they combine with Terry Hill. A great show of strength by Hill. He got rid of Renouf. Now they're 5 metres out from the line. What are they going to do? They come left to their captain, across to the playmaker. It's with Cliffy Lyons, a decoy run, then Moore. Moore gets it away. Ryan! It's down for a try. Still pretty much in the centre of the ground as Walters goes out from dummy half, puts the run around together with Langer. Home, there's a try coming. Yes! Try! Scored by Peter Ryan. Through 2 sets of hands. Now, is that a fresh man on for them? It's Galia. Galia's 3 metres out from the line. 5 tackles are gone. Brisbane with Hancock a dummy half. Goes himself, Hancock. Gets over the line. Puts it down. That's a try. Hancock denied earlier, but not now.
After brushing the Eagles, many observers were prepared to suggest that the Broncos could again take out the title from a sudden death situation. However, their perilous walk across Rugby League's high wire eventually brought them to grief in the minor semi-final against North Sydney.
From the Brisbane line. Soda now, they've got to go quick left. Taylor does that, long ball out for Fennick. On for Larson, the man who provided the break. Now it's out wide. He bounces over. It's Greg Florimo. Soden goes to the left. It's with Taylor. He shaped a kick and then passed. On the bounce, it's with David Hall. Hall, he's in. He's over. Another try. 5 tackles gone just beyond the 20-metre line for Langer now to kick again. He goes to the air and decides to test Matt Sears. He'll take it comfortably. No, he's put it down. And Brisbane get a hand to it, and they get a try. Pulled down 9 metres out.
Back to the left.
5 tackles indicated. Taylor will pass again. Larson puts the fend on. And North Sydney, they get their 3rd try. Few tackles, at least 2 left on this set as it comes across for Langer. Langer pushes it on for John Platt. He shovels the ball down for Walters. Kevin Walters gets a pass away. Windle, Sailor, he goes in to score. They come away for Lazarus to put his frame into the defence, and Lazarus, he's put down 5 metres out. They look for a quick play of the ball. It goes from O'Neill to Kevin Walters and then to Peter Ryan. Ryan gets it back and Kevin Walters, he gets the try. That'll be the equaliser after the conversion. Taylor, he's over to the left. They're pointing at him. Walters, I don't know whether he was directly behind. Taylor goes for the shot. Taylor, he's got it. North Sydney lead by a point.
Not the first time that he's come up with a high tackle.
Larson is gone.
Well, here it is now. He picks him up now. The problem is he's got him between the legs, and that's what the league don't want.
And 5 tackles are gone here. Stewart wants it on the left, and they may even come through the hands. It's with Stewart now. They go back to the other side where Meninga's waiting, and so is Daly, and so is Nagas, and Nagas gets it back, and Meninga, he scores the try. Wesley's tackle 3 metres into North Sydney's area. 5 tackles gone. Quick play, the ball required. They might put it through the hands. They are. Stewart finds Daly out wide. Now he might kick. No, he holds it back. They get the pass away from Nandruku. Nandruku for Mullins. And Mullins is away. Inside for Nandruku. And he scores. They are a class act.
It's away for Stewart. Stewart on for Meninga. Meninga! I don't know whether they can stop him. Oh, don't tell me he's bombed it. It's gone back. And Nagas puts it down. Did he get it down safely? Yes, he did. It's a try. Stewart shapes to turn it one way, then looks for Meninga. Meninga out of one, runs over another, bumps off. No, he doesn't. Little Matt Sears hangs on. Across now for Stewart. They're coming at Hall's wing. Inside for Mullins. Inside for Mullins, and he dives in. Line. That's the first tackle. Hetherington looks for Darren Brett, puts the ball over the line. That's a try. To 12, 7 tries to 2 at full time.
Well, that's all we have time for in Big League Video's summary of 1994. I'm sure you'll agree it was quite some season, especially if you're a Raider.